I am Majabin, and the topic of my group is mood disorder, one major depressive disorder, and the subtopic of mine is serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. Classification of mood disorder can be classified into depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, secondary mood disorder due to non-psychiatric medical condition, substance-induced mood disorder, and mood disorder not otherwise specified. And what are the diagnostic criteria for major depressive disorder? That two of the symptoms, either the depressed mood or the loss of the interest or the pleasure, can be persistent for 2-week period. And the other symptoms may include the change in weight or appetite, insomnia, fatigue, loss of energy, diminished ability to think or concentrate, feeling of worthlessness, psychomotor agitation, or the recurrent thoughts of death or suicidal ideation. Move toward the class that is used to treat that disorder, serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor SNRIs, that belong to a class of medication that are effective in treating the depression. But SNRIs can also be used in treating the other conditions such as anxiety disorder and chronic pain, especially the nerve pain. So SNRIs may be helpful if you have a chronic pain in addition to depression. Move toward the mechanism of action. SNRIs can block the reuptake of the neurotransmitter, the serotonin and the norepinephrine in the brain. SNRIs can be approved by the FDA for treating the depression. These include the desvenlafaxine, duloxetine, levomilnacipran, venlafaxine. Move toward its case study that FH is a lady is suffering from an acute episode of major depression with a probable history of dyspnea, that is double depression, but she denies substance abuse, which is supported by a subsequent toxicology screen. From her medical chart and interview, it is confirmed that she received a therapeutic trial of nortriptyline, that is TCA, and fluoxetine, that is SSRIs, with inadequate clinical benefit. She is not interested in psychotherapy. Her provider decided to start venlafaxine in a dose of 37.5 mg SR preparation daily. Is this a reasonable choice? अब हमने डिसाइड करना है कि venlafaxine रिकमेंड किया जाए या नहीं किया जाए. FH के केस में हमारे पास फर्स्ट ट्रायल जो है वो फेल हो चुका है, जो कि हमारे पास TCA का था, नॉट्रिप्टालिन. सो हम एडिशनल TCAs जो है वो रीजनेबल चॉइस नहीं होगा. सेकंड हमारे पास फ्लुओक्सेटिन SSRI से बिलोंग कर रही थी क्लास से, लेकिन उसका भी ट्रायल जो है वो फेल हो चुका है. लेकिन यहाँ पर हमारे पास अकॉर्डिंग टू स्टाडी ट्रायल यहाँ पॉसिबिलिटी है कि अगर एक SSRI से पेशेंट इनटॉलरेंट या अनरिस्पॉन्स है तो हम उसको शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं दूसरे SSRI प्रिपरेशंस पर. अगर हम वेंलाफैक्सिन को देखें, हमारे पास न्यूली क्लास है एंटी डिप्रेशन की, और जस्ट लाइक ऑफ ड्यूलैक्सेटिन सिमिलर मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन, और इन दोनों ड्रग्स को जो है वो US ने अप्रूव किया है फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ डिप्रेशन. लेकिन वेंलाफैक्सिन जो है वो लीस्ट इफेक्टिव है इन सीवियर मेलनकॉलिक डिप्रेशन एंड ट्रीटमेंट रेजिस्टेंट डिप्रेशन. At a dose of less than 150 mg per day, venlafaxine affect the blockage of serotonin reuptake just like of SSRIs and produce the adverse effects similar to that of SSRIs, that is GI distress, sleep disturbance and sexual dysfunction. But at higher doses, venlafaxine can affect the norepinephrine, so it can distinguish from SSRIs in that case and produce the adverse effect like hypertension. Duloxetine doesn't appear to exhibit a dose-dependent differential effect on neurotransmitter just like of venlafaxine. Now move toward the pharmacokinetics of venlafaxine. Venlafaxine can demethylate it to an active metabolite, and this metabolite was recently approved by FDA for the treatment of depression. Venlafaxine is not a potent inhibitor of cytochrome P450 isoenzyme, so drug interactions are less of concern than with certain SSRIs, but duloxetine is a moderate inhibitor of cytochrome 2D6 isoenzyme. Both SNRIs have been associated with serotonin syndrome, so clinical should be aware of the potentially dangerous drug combination that can occur with this antidepressant. So in FH case, the choice of venlafaxine is correct, and it is less activating than fluoxetine. In comparison to SSRIs, venlafaxine possesses a wide therapeutic range and ordinarily require more dosage titration. A starting dose of 37.5 mg is reasonable, but baseline vital should be recorded for FH with every dosage change in order to monitor the effect of this SNRIs on her blood pressure and heart rate. Most patients respond to daily doses between 152 and 225 mg. Because FH is suffering from a relatively severe depression, it may be wise to increase her daily dose to 75 mg once she has exhibited good tolerance. In the event that FH has not exhibited a satisfactory response to 75 mg per day after 4 weeks, the dose may be increased in increment of 37.5 mg to 75 mg every few weeks to a daily maximum of 225 mg. Although daily doses of the extra large preparations above 225 mg are not recommended by the manufacturer, that is as high as 300 mg daily. Now the question rises here, are there any other antidepressant to consider if FH fail her venlafaxine trial? पहले हमारे पास FH का हमारे पास फ्लेक्सिटीन का और TCA का ट्रायल फेल हो चुका, हमने वेनलाफेक्सिन रिकमेंड किया. अगर वेनलाफेक्सिन का ट्रायल भी फेल होता है, क्या हमारे पास कोई और ऐसे एंटी डिप्रेसेंट प्रेजेंट हैं उनको ट्रीट करने के लिए? सो द आंसर इज़ दैट येस, देयर आर अदर एजेंट दैट इंक्लूड द ब्यूप्रोपियाइन एंड द मिर्टाज़ेपाम. ब्यूप्रोपियाइन इज़ एन अमाइनो कीटोन. इसका जो FDA अप्रूव्ड एंटी डिप्रेसेंट है, लेकिन इसका जो मैकेनिज़्म ऑफ एक्शन है कि ये ब्यूप्रोपियाइन जो है वो सेरोटोनिन ट्रांसमिशन पर इसका निग्लेक्टेबल इफेक्ट है, लेकिन ये डोपामीन का लेवल को हाई कर रही है और नॉरएपिनेफ्रिन की एक्टिविटी को हाई कर रही है. एडवर्स इफेक्ट जो है वो ब्यूप्रोपियाइन से रिलेटेड है, दैट इंक्लूड द इंसोम्निया, नोजिया, वॉमिटिंग एंड सीजर. लेकिन डोजेस स्टार्ट करने से पहले वी हैव टू नो द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द एपिलेप्सी, बुलिमिया और रिसेंट हिस्ट्री ऑफ हैवी ड्रिंकिंग. Bupropion is one of the few antidepressants that may actually decrease the appetite. A recent randomized placebo-controlled investigation of bupropion in depressed obese patients observed caloric restriction found that bupropion was much more likely to induce significant weight loss than placebo. After 26 weeks of treatment, 40% of the bupropion-related patient lost more than 5% of their total body weight versus 16% with placebo. This weight loss was positively correlated with an improvement in depressive symptoms. Pharmacokinetic of bupropion is that it converted into by the cytochrome P450 to be 6-isoenzyme to an active metabolite, and the recommended daily dose of bupropion is 100 mg twice daily, increasing to 100 mg 3 times a day after at least 3 days. Individual doses must not exceed 150 mg and should be given at least 6 hours apart. With the SR formulation, initial daily doses are 50 mg QD increased to 150 mg twice daily by the 4th day at the earliest. Individual dose of bupropion SR can be large as 200 mg and divided dose should be given at least 8 hours apart. Now the second agent that is used to treat the depression is that mirtazapine. Mirtazapine is a novel antidepressant that is capable of modulating the serotonin and norepinephrine activity through a complex mechanism of action. The net effect of inhibitory property are the serotonin reuptake transporters. Therefore, the net effect of mirtazapine is that it can enhance the serotonin and norepinephrine in a manner that is clearly distinct from any other antidepressant. But mirtazapine appeared to be much more effective than the SSRIs after 4 weeks of the treatment. The most common adverse effects related to mirtazapine are the sedation and the weight gain, because mirtazapine has a potent antihistaminergic effect. Other than these two agents, there are irreversible monoamine oxidase inhibitors, phenelzine and phenylephromine. They can also be used as an alternative for patients who have failed multiple antidepressant trials like venlafaxine, TCAs, mirtazapine. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors are believed to relieve the depressive symptoms by enhancing the activity of multiple neurotransmitters, which may be desirable for refractory cases. Because serious drug and dietary interaction are encountered with monoamine oxidase inhibitor, candidate for treatment should be chosen carefully. Now, in FH case, there is an antidepressant augmentation here. That is 3 months later, FH report that she feels less on venlafaxine 150 mg per day, and that her appetite has improved as well. However, she is still somewhat depressed, lethargic, and attempt to increase her dosage have been limited by nausea and recurring insomnia. What pharmacological options remain to help manage her refractory depression? Because FH has obtained considerable relief from her venlafaxine trial but is experienced dose-limiting side effect, one would prefer to add a second medication, that is augmentation therapy, rather than changing the antidepressant at this time. हम इस टाइम जो है वो हम लोग उसकी एंटी डिप्रेशन जो है वो चेंज नहीं करेंगे, किसी और एंटी डिप्रेशन की तरफ शिफ्ट नहीं करेंगे, हम जो है ऑगमेंटेशन स्ट्रेटजी की तरफ मूव करेंगे. यानी कि हमारे पास वी कैन कंसीडर the lithium, the thyroid supplements, the pindolol, buspirons, atypical antipsychotics, modafinils, and lamotrigines. And there is an end of my presentation. Thank you.